Now we speak in the second part of today's mini-series about application of New Planner in project management compared to task and work management as we did before. We compared explicitly with two dedicated project management systems. And Hans will take over the introduction with the slides. I do most of the demo part. So Hans, over to you. I'll give you control and please introduce us to the topic.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, how can Microsoft New Planner be used for project management? Good question. Yeah, comparison with Project Online, the tool which is in place now for many, many years, and TPG ProjectPowerPack, which is an app built around the New Planner Premium or project for the web with its old name, with lots of other and extra project management methodologies. But yeah, let's have a look at this. What's about the agenda? So here it is. So what is New Planner? Yeah, what exactly is combined? Maybe you've heard of it, that Planner, project for the web, and to do should somehow be combined to a new application called New Planner. Well, let's have a look at this in detail. Then we have a look at Microsoft Planner Premium. So the old project for the web is now Microsoft Planner in a premium plan. If it's not premium, it's basic. Basic means this is more or less the functionality of the old planner, but we will have a look at this in a moment. But we focus in this webinar on Planner Premium. Once we have done this, we will proceed with a look at TPG ProjectPowerPack, and there are two possibilities. You can run it around Planner Premium, or you can run it with an own scheduler called TPG Scheduler, which is more options for better Gantt charts and dependencies between tasks and stuff like that. But let's have a look at this. And as we are comparing the Planner Premium as a new app, also with established app called Microsoft Project Server, Project Online, we will have a short look into this as well, just to get an idea what's the difference and why you should look for the one or the other. So at the end, you should have an idea what's interesting for you. We don't do a training here in this next 45 minutes, or never. It's also not possible to cover all the features. It's just for you to get an idea what tool is for what functionality built. What is New Planner? Good question. As I said, it is a combination of Microsoft Planner, which exists for a few years now, and Microsoft Project for the Web, which is the successor of Project Online. And maybe you've seen it should be the combination with Microsoft To Do as well. And what is it now? This is altogether the New Planner. Good question. No, it is not. It is not the case that these three are now exactly merged into one app. No, the first two, Microsoft Planner and Microsoft Project for the Web, are merged into the New Planner, but Microsoft To Do is still an extra application, right? But you need different licenses. So for Microsoft Project for the Web, or the premium plan in the New Planner, you need an extra license compared to the Planner Basic plan, which just offers the functionality of the old Microsoft Planner. So yes, there is a new application called New Planner. It is the combination of Microsoft Planner and Project for the Web, and you need two different licenses. So this as a start. And just for you to know, we have two webinars today in a row. The first we had already was the New Planner Basics. So this was the previous webinar, which was all about task management. And now we are running the webinar for Planner Premium, which is all about project management. So if you want to see what's possible around task management, just wait for the recording of the session we had before. You can see this in YouTube or in the message you get from Achim at the end of the week. Yes, so let's stay with the topic of project management for the next minutes. And that means, if you want to use it, and I said something about licenses, Thomas, there were different licenses.
Yeah, it's definitely repeating from what we said before, but it definitely makes sense for the ones that just joined us now. So every level of features has its price. And to-do is included in business and enterprise plans. Planner with basic plans is also included in the enterprise plans, at least D1, D3, and D5, which many of you might use for the office applications. Planner with premium plans, now we're getting to the point, requires Project Online Plan 1 or P1, which street price, at least in Europe, is something like €9.40 per month. It could be different in your location. And Copilot in Planner is included. So Copilot only can be used in premium plans, not in basic plans so far, but it's included in the license here, which is good. Again, please check for overlap with other Copilot licenses that you may have. Things are definitely moving there, and Microsoft changes them every now and then. So you can look up all the prices for yourself and for your country and these different links that we have at the bottom of the page.
Yeah, once you get the slides, you can use the links directly and check out what's your price. So what exactly is combined? As I said, we have to look a little bit closer to the details. So New Planner is a combination of Planner and Project for the Web, and it offers a list of plans. So plans, Project for the Web, that's not a plan. A plan was in Planner. Okay, lots of words with the same meaning. Meanwhile, a project in Project for the Web, which is now a premium plan in the New Planner, is at the end a plan. So we don't talk about projects anymore. We talk just about plans. And these plans come from a basic template. Then it has the functionality of the old planner. Or you build your plan with a premium template. Then you get the functionality of Project for the Web. But at the end, they are all listed together in one list in the New Planner. So these two applications are combined in one new one. And this is the focus for this webinar. Well, the other things here, all about tasks and where the tasks combined from To-Do and Outlook, marked emails and OneNote and Loop and lists and stuff like that, we do not cover in this webinar. This was covered already in the webinar the hour before. So in this webinar, we focus on project management. So we focus on New Planner and Project for the Web functionality called Premium Template. Yeah, let's go for this. And yeah, just 3 slides about the data and stuff like that. The first question is, where do you find the New Planner? Is this a new app, Thomas? How can I find it?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not an app. Well, unfortunately, I would say, because it takes away some of the screen by running in Microsoft Teams. So it's not yet available in all tenants. In the meantime, it should be by whatever 90+% available. Activation is still in progress. So don't worry, it doesn't show up in your environment. There's no dedicated app. It runs in Microsoft Teams only. You basically select a new app on the left side in Microsoft Teams where you have the different applications, and here you find the New Planner. You can open it in a new window for sure, but definitely there is no pure web interface for it. It's really tied into Teams these days, which definitely makes sense probably from a Microsoft point of view, now that Teams has extra cost and extra licenses involved with it. So also the New Planner requires now a Teams license that needs to be bought.
Yes, and the old existing apps for Planner and Project for the Web are still in place. Nobody knows how long, but for now you could reach these things from both sides. But the New Planner can only be started from Teams here. Thanks for this. So how to move on? Yeah, what's changing with Planner and Project for the Web? I've seen in the first survey that there was no one who has used Project for the Web already. I don't know if meanwhile someone has joined who does, but let's have a look in some feature comparison. So these two apps come together in the new one. So plans in Planner are basic plans in New Planner, right? So, okay, it's just a plan is a plan, but now it is a basic plan. In Project for the Web are now premium plans in New Planners. So that's it. But there are other things like you can copy a basic plan into a new premium plan. So this is nothing else. And maybe you're wondering why you have to copy it. Yeah, the data storage in the background is different still. So the planner is still has its data in Azure, and Project for the Web has its data in Dataverse. So yes, there is really copied data in the background from one template to another one. And what's also new is that plans do not have to be assigned to a team. You can have your private plans that, can be good if no one else should see your plan before maybe it's ready. You can assign these plans to groups later on, so it's not an issue. It's just for you to know that you can now have plans which are not assigned to a group automatically, which was done in the past. So until you do it, they stay private, so you can only see them for yourself. So this is one thing. The next thing is that I clicked sometime. Tasks from to do are displayed in new planner, not yet from project for the web. That's it. So in the past, the tasks from project for the web were not showed in planner. So this is a new feature, so that these two tasks coming from these tasks coming from to do are now shown in planner and in project for the web. So for both templates, so it's premium and basic. Okay. Now, what's the real difference? Which new enhancements are coming with premium versus basic? Thomas told us before that we have to pay more. So do I get more for my money? Yeah, you do. So there are boards with sprints, right? You have in planner boards. That's okay. But these are just grouped by buckets, by progress or what else, but you can't have sprints in Planner Basic. Sprints with a start and finish date can only be set in Planner Premium. Then you get a Gantt chart. Well, I don't need to explain Gantt charts, hopefully. Then you can have a structure with summary tasks, and milestones. And we mentioned in the webinar before that Planner just offers a flat list of tasks with no possibility to build any structure. But in Planner Premium, you can have summary tasks, normal tasks, and milestones. So yes, you can build a structure as you need it for your work packages, phases, or whatever in your project. So just build your work breakdown structure as you would like to have it. You can have links between tasks and milestones, so you get your schedule. So you have successors and predecessors. You have a history of operations. So that means whatever you edit and you do, you can see what happened to your tasks. Maybe someone entered the duration, someone changed the name or whatever. So you get all the history of your edits. You can chat on an individual task. So maybe you can ask a colleague, hey, why do you think these are 10 days? I think it's less than 10 days. What do you think? And the colleague answers, and no, it has to be 10 days because of whatever. So you really can chat not about the whole project. You can chat in your plan per task. So that's a very nice thing. The next thing is that you can have custom fields for tasks. We said that the Planner Basic doesn't offer any custom field. Project for the web or Planner Premium now offers the functionality of custom fields for tasks. But these are local custom fields, so you have to enter these, you have to create these custom fields per plan or per project now. There are no enterprise custom fields available at the moment, like you could have known this from a Project Online or Project Server, but it's on the roadmap. So Microsoft said that they will come up with enterprise custom fields during this year. What we also have is conditional formatting of cells in the task table, so you get some background if some values hit any any value that is defined. So you can have green, blue, red, whatever, or just the colors of your traffic lights for different thresholds, different colors. So easy thing, but looks good. Definition of capacities for people via calendars. So you have no possibility in a basic plan to add resources, right? You can have users, so you can add people who work on the tasks, yes, but these are no resources in terms of Microsoft Project, as you may know it, with a capacity. But in Planner Premium, you can have a capacity. That means they have, a 40 hours a week to work. And once they have more hours assigned than the capacity offers, they get the different colors, or they are marked as having too much work. Assignment of resources to tasks with working hours, as we said. Coming back to Planner Basic, you can't add a single number on your task. You can't add hours for work. That's not possible. In Planner Premium, you can do it. You can have hours to work, actual hours, and remaining hours. So what else? You can have a definition of goals that can be linked to tasks. Yeah, but don't expect too much. It's not Viva goals. It's just an extra list that comes with Planner Premium that allows you to have a list of goals, and you can assign these goals to tasks so you know what you're working for. And what's the last thing? Yeah, you can use Copilot for generating some operations and detail operations or detailed tasks. You can define, for example, a work package and then ask Copilot for some details. So you could have the question: I would like to write an app on Azure that does whatever synchronization with SAP. Please provide me some steps for details. 10 of them. So Copilot will deliver 10 tasks as you asked for and will place them in your plan. You can accept it or revise it. So yeah, you can build your plan with artificial intelligence coming from all the people out there having done some plans before. Okay, Thomas, I would say that's enough. Let's have a look.
I guess it's more than enough. So let's directly jump into that and understand where we are in terms of what is possible. So that's something for later. Let me briefly jump over to my other user here, and we will start in the new planner. That's just the remainder of the last webinar that we had before. I'm going to my plans now. You see there are a number of plans already, and I'm going to create a new plan. And again, you see what you just pointed out. There are basic plans and premium plans. So the correct wording that we had to learn from Microsoft is this is not planner premium. It's planner with a premium plan. Okay, let's do this. Let's look again into project management activity. This time I'm not going to pick a basic plan, but a premium plan. You see it's a template that comes with a certain number of activities and tasks already. Let's just open it and start from here. And we just take this as our project management premium, I call it. So I know exactly what I'm doing. And I take today's date so I easily find my premium plan later on. Again, the assignment to a group is optional. If I want to share it with other people or assign other people so they can access their task, I need to create a group to allow access. So it's creating my premium plan on the fly now. Shouldn't take too long. And then we directly jump into it. You see it's already showing up in my pinned plans here on the back end. And again, this is not only showing up in the new planner, it's also showing up in Microsoft Project for the Web. Let's briefly refresh it in here. Let's look into what detail information I can get across all my different projects. And you see this is now the premium plan that I just created. Again, it lives in Microsoft Project for the Web, but of course it also lives in Microsoft Planner, the new planner. A little refresh in here. Again, it's still a preview, but finally we should be there. And now I can use my project schedule in here. I see it in here. I can open it in here and do all the things that I'm probably interested in, which means let's reduce a little bit in here. I start with a grid view, and you see there's a structure right away. There are summary tasks, there are work packages, maybe there are individual steps in here. I could still add milestones and do additional things. So maybe I want to have a new task just below or a new task just below. So different things that are available in here. And you see this is kind of the complete functionality shown in the context menu on the right-hand side. So let's just go maybe to the summary task in here. We want to have a new task above, and this is, let's say, milestone 1 and of project charter, for example. A milestone, as we all know, is a 0-day functionality. Again, I can now go in here and show some of the additional data that already are available. So a number of columns already are in there. For example, depends on. So we do have a logic between these different tasks in here. We could look at the total effort, for example, and for sure we should look at the start date. And we should look at the finish date of the individual task in here. The milestone looks a little strange. Why is that? Because it has not been connected. And of course, I can go in here and say, okay, wait a second, this belongs to row number 6, develop the project charter. And you see, I even have the full-blown set of dependency types. So quite comfortable, quite a luxury in terms of, let's say, different connections between links between different tasks and different legs, even if you want to have it. Let's really go quick in here and say, okay, for sure, this is a finish to start. And then it recalculates my schedule as I would expect it. So grid view for many data that I need to digest. And of course, I can look at the timeline, which shows me if everything has been done correctly. The timeline itself cannot be configured at all, just to be aware. The ones that have been using Microsoft Project, maybe for the past or the last 25 years, there are no colors at the Gantt chart. The table part on the left-hand side is restricted to the task structure only. So you cannot somehow add any additional tasks, any additional columns in here for more information, which I think would be nice, but maybe it's the next step on the roadmap for the development of all that. So timeline is definitely in here, a Gantt chart. And of course, we have the grid view that we started with. Now let's look into something that I find especially more appealing, which is a board view. A board view really allows us to structure and look at the project in many different ways. It's a bucket. It's just a column of activities and tasks that belong together. This looks like a project phase bucket here, initiation, planning, execution. Definitely makes sense, the more or less standard vanilla 5 project phases that all of us know, maybe from a PMI model. So we can structure it differently. We can look into maybe the finish date of something like that. Yeah, it comes out of the box, these groupings. We can look into maybe priorities of the task. Why are they different? Because we started with a template that had some of this assigned before. Long story short, if I click on a task from a schedule now, from a premium plan, it looks much more complete and offers many more functionalities compared to Planner Basic. First of all, same functionality here. I can assign it to myself. I can add a label again. This could be the pink label, for example, and I can go in here and again say, okay, for the label I'm going to add, let me briefly click on it. I'm going to edit the name, and this now means, okay, this again is IT as an example. Sorry for my keyboard here. And so here we are. Good. Depends on start and finish date, duration, complete, priority, something I can change, the buckets I can assign. There's a sprint even assigned right away. There's a checklist in here. And finally, there are number columns, effort for completed and remaining, which is a total, and some custom fields that may have been added based on the template again. So maybe there's a risk associated with the individual task. Maybe I put this to a medium information, some color coding, and you see some of the additional things that are interesting in here. So I think quite complete in terms of functionality to not only build a schedule, but also, for example, to see the history of the individual task, every change, and when it had been done, and who changed it in here. So it's really a full audit, if you think about it, on all the changes that had been done at the individual task in the project schedule. A few other things to mention, but for now,
just to mention, Thomas, then that's a big difference for the audience here, knowing Microsoft Project Online. In Project Online, you open your plan and you are the only editor, right? This here makes definitely sense to get the history, because you can always work together on that plan. So you should know, if you're wondering about the data, who has changed it. It could be your colleague.
Absolutely. It's co-authoring, which I think on one hand is a nice thing. On the other hand, it requires a little more discipline maybe and control. And good point, Hans, actually. If I'd like to see who changed what when, definitely makes sense to have it built into that. Let's look a little bit into the other things that you have pointed out before. So the sprints are definitely in here. There's a default sprint that just has been added, which maybe is a little bit too long, maybe for 1 month. So let's go in here and say, okay, maybe the finish date when we start, let's say the 1st of May. No, let's start here on a Monday. and we put the finish date. Let's say finally, let's go into May down here. Let's go for a 3-week sprint, I would say, something like that. And we go until this one. So this is done now. I can add another sprint after that and say, okay, the next one starts then on the 20th, and so on and so on. You see where it's going to. So I can easily build these sprints in here. And finally, the task can be just pulled into the sprints as I did before. The backlog is still here, so I can kind of structure myself. It's not full agile, definitely not. Yeah, you don't have story points. You don't have any of the other things that usually show up in a, let's say, agile environment. But at least you can structure your things that you need to work on in a sprint mode. Question we always are not in doubt about, why do I create a timeline with dependencies and everything else and still use a sprint view? Maybe I have to make up my mind and not connect my tasks to each other by linking them in a logical sequence, but really just create a list of things that need to be done and then organize myself in a sprint. But maybe that's just a personal perception. At the end of the day, it's quite flexible in what should be shown, let's say, at the individual project level based on the different buckets and the different boards that we have in here. They are flexible. They can be extended. And nice piece, this is living in Dataverse, which is the Power Platform database from Microsoft in the web. There's a full-blown report pack for free from Microsoft that you can download for Power BI. You just connect it into your environment, you refresh it, and you see all that in really, I think, quite good-looking reports that not only roll up into a single project, but even at portfolio level. So a list of projects, for example, that has always been missing in these environments is definitely something that the report pack can solve. Let's look at 2 or 3 additional things that come on top of it. There's a built-in reporting as well, as we have seen in Planner Basic before. Very simple, not customizable, but okay if you want to get an overview on things that are happening. And of course, you can look into a number of activities in here. Now let's go maybe into one additional task in here. I want to assign it to someone else, and I maybe search for Hans. That should show up in here. So I'm giving this task to him, and just by adding him, okay, did it not work? So maybe I made a mistake. Okay. Should be good. No, it doesn't allow me that. Maybe because I didn't share the plan. Yeah, good point. It still is a private plan. I definitely need to share it. Yes, and that's exactly what it's telling me here. So I can just assign him now. Later, when Hans should be able to see these activities assigned to him and work on them, I need to add a group and just share it to him. For the moment, I'm just sharing. That's basically what you can do with the people view in here. So the people view is the view from a single project. And if I now go into, let's say, to what has it been assigned and what else is, let's say, maybe interesting in here, I could see the number of working hours that comes from the project schedule or the number of tasks. Unfortunately, this is not enough for any resource management activity. Why not? I couldn't look at the hours here, but I don't see on a timeline if this works out in, let's say, a capacity point of view. Do they have enough capacity to work on that in the time frame of these activities? There's one improvement already in here. I can look into this from a daily and weekly point of view. Monthly and yearly has shown up now. Okay, this was different last week. It's really work in progress here from Microsoft. Thumbs up, very good. So I can look into how many hours should Hans spend on that in this week to work on one or many activities. But it does not show me any color coding, red, green, or amber, or whatever it takes. If it's too much, based on his capacity or working model. That would be the logical next step. But again, as I said before, this is really developing a lot. Microsoft has released this, let's say, premium plan or old project for the web about 4 years ago, and adding functionality over functionality while we speak, I would say almost. So really surprising to me that monthly and yearly is now in here. Very good. So it wasn't there last week when we did the first webinar in German. One more thing to point out maybe on this one, on the premium plan, what else can be done? As Hans pointed out, I can assign this to a goal. So the goal is just another pick list in here. The goal would be probably something nice, let's say efficiency increase by 10%. Yeah, so whatever beside my typo is in here. And then I could go in here and add new tasks to the goal. But I can also start from the other point of view, and I can go in here and say, okay, definitely it makes sense to work on that and go into the details. And finally say, okay, what goal does this belong to the efficiency increase, for example? And as you may guess, this can be now used for grouping by the individual details again. So long story short, quite nice to show all that in here. And finally, I can go into maybe another board view again. And now we say, okay, maybe show it by the codes. So another piece of data that lives in here. Let's go into maybe one last thing I'd like to show you in here. Because I have a schedule now in the timeline and I assigned myself, this goes back into the new planner again. So new planner, we are anyway, we just look at the plans right now, but it's not just another plan that has been added in here. It also adds the tasks in here. Yeah, so the task from the schedule is automatically showing in here in my own task. Again, it's assigned to me, depending on the due date, it will show up in my day, and so on and so on and so on. You get it. Quite enough, funny enough, we have the same, let's say, task in here. On one hand from the premium plan, the other one from the basic plan that we created earlier. But that's the nice story about all this. It all comes together in New Planner, independent from where you have created your individual to-do items, action items, tasks, however we should call them. So this is the good thing about bringing all these different pieces finally together. Let's close it with the new functionality that again has appeared just about 2 weeks ago. So right now we do have baselines available in Pro and Planner Premium. Baseline means I can create a new baseline which saves the start and finish date of my task and of my project, also the duration and the baseline effort, for example. There's one baseline you can save, not more. You can name it in here. What's a little confusing about all this is that the baselines that you store in here saves data on the back end, yeah, which is a good thing, but the baseline information at the moment is not yet visible in here. So while you can save the data and use it in reporting, you cannot add it in your, let's say, grid view, in your, let's say, table view in here. And you also cannot show the baseline in your Gantt chart, which I think is a logical next step that Microsoft should add to make it really a good solution with the baseline. Long story short, this was kind of a deep dive to some limit into a premium plan. Did I forget something, Hans, based on the long checklist that you presented earlier?
Well, you could use Copilot to ask for criteria for milestone 1, or you develop project charter. Maybe you ask Copilot what the project charter should contain or whatever. So these are things that could create extra tasks.
Right. Last time I have not been successful, but I would say please add 5 tasks to develop project charter. Let's see if it's smart enough to detect project charter and add 5 subtasks to it. It really depends on the prompter. Usually it's not Copilot, it's the prompter who makes a mistake. Usually it's me. Okay, sorry for that. Then I ask for something else and I say, which task has the longest, longest duration. So it could be an analysis, it could be adding additional data into it, but it really depends on the very correct usage of the prompt. And it takes me, okay, product management premium. Yeah, good one. Depends on what you ask for. Definitely they are right that the project itself is the longest task, which is the product summary task. Anyway, that's okay. Yeah. So finally, I need to probably prompt a little more in detail and ask for a detailed task or a phase or let's say level 1 task or whatever it might be. Long story short, yes, Copilot preview, as you can see, comes with the Planner Premium that we just are looking at. And I would say with that, probably, unless I find something else I'd like to point out, no, I think we're good for the time being. That should be it about Planner Premium. And I think we have 1-2 other things to discuss,
yes.
Right?
Yeah, Planner Premium, well, it's more or less the scheduler. And what we would like to offer in terms of project management is things around risk management, the project chart, the status report, the stakeholder analysis, whatever. So things that you should use if you do good project management. You need more than a schedule, definitely. And this is the reason why we built the Project PowerPack that offers all these things around project or Planner Premium for the new name. And this is just one slide to get an idea what's in. So kinds of functionality for multi-project management, so portfolios, programs. We also have budget and cost planning, actual cost and controlling. We have variants of the project, so we can have some certain scenarios and save it as a variant and open it up later on and compare with your original schedule and stuff like that. So we built in a lot of functionality around the premium planner and even action items and to do and stuff like that. But Thomas, just give us a short intro. How does it look like? So this is the advantage of the Power Platform where the planner is built in, and we can really have a low code, no code thing around it. But we packaged it in a solution which is more than low code. There's lots of functionality built in.
The main reason that we initially built it when Microsoft released then Project for the Web, now Planner Premium, is there is no way to structure the list of projects you are seeing. Not in Planner or New Planner, not in Microsoft Project for the Web. You just have a plain list, projects driven by name, and maybe when you last access to them, you have a little filtering in here. You can type to filter the list. That's perfectly okay. But wouldn't it be nice if we could see a project status in here? If you could see the customer behind, maybe some other information that just makes sense, because usually I have more than maybe 7 or 8 projects. And that was exactly the purpose when we walked into the, let's say, creation of Project PowerPack called PPP. Again, there are 2 flavors, one with the scheduler, one with Microsoft Project for the Web. Let's just go in here and say, how does it look like when I log into that one? So first of all, I have a personal entry portal for myself, which we called my work, which shows me things I need to work on, my action items. I have a number of projects that belong to me. I have a number of risks and issues I need to work on. How does it all come together? Let's briefly jump into one project for now and look into some of the details. Again, this is one project out of many. How many do we have? Maybe I have my own projects, but I get additional data for these projects. How does it look like in an overview, maybe at company level? Where we usually have many more projects, many more information pieces I'd like to see, like a status, like an overall KPI, like a budget information, for example, and so on and so on. So multi-project management definitely is in scope of the solution we're looking into, but it's living on the data in the individual projects, which means there are some project details like project master data or project attributes that we can use to filter, group, sort, and report on all these different projects. There are traffic light indicators or KPIs. There's a roll-up of different numbers and different data items from the project itself. One, the schedule. And guess what? The schedule in here exactly is the schedule that we have seen before in Planner Premium, which means Microsoft Project for the Web. So it's seamlessly integrated into that one, and just the schedule part is being taken care of by Microsoft Planner Premium, but the financials for top-down planning at project level, for budget numbers, actual numbers, forecast, for example, is something that comes on top of it, which cannot even be extended into Microsoft Project for the Web or Planner Premium because it doesn't allow any currency fields, for example. We do have a number of options for the resource planning, the resource management. It could be done in the schedule, as we have seen in here. I can assign people to tasks, but we also have a different options, which means a top-down resource plan living at project level, asking for people with a certain percentage, a heat map, a graphical indication of over allocation, and not the necessity to do resource management at individual task level, which for many of our customers is just too cumbersome. So the first 5 items in here are for planning the project, but of course we have a number of additional data items that make sense, like risks assigned to a project, like issues assigned to a project, like change requests assigned to a project, and so on and so on and so on. You get it. You see quite a number of additional data items that have been added into the environment, because the schedule is one piece, but all the other pieces also contribute to the projects. Last but not least, we not only have the schedule, who belongs to the project manager, we also have the so-called action items, which is our work management, to-do management inside the project, where the team members that belong to my project team can organize themselves and assign each other small action items that needs to be taken care of. Last but not least, all this comes together in a status report that lives in Power BI, and the status report definitely pulls all the data from the project it knows anyway. So the project master data, the financials, the schedule information, and all the project artifacts. Let me briefly log on here. Shouldn't take more than a second. So I have not been using this probably for the last few hours, so I need to log on again. And now we're getting into status report for one single project, project master data, KPIs, the last status from the project and our project artifacts. And the last status that I show in here is coming from a historical project status reporting that over time will be added to the project itself. For the ones who don't like all the information in here, it's very, very easy to cut it down to what you need. So if you say, no, that's way too much for me, let's go for a smaller project type in here. Let's go for a small details project. Let's save it real quick and let's refresh it real quick. And now watch the number of tabs I have in here. Just by refreshing, I drastically reduce what I need for this specific type of project, and maybe not anything else. I think with that, the time is gone anyway. And I would say back to you, Hans, and maybe back to Achim.
Yeah, but we have 2 things left, which are worth to mention. The one thing is if the project if the project premium is not good enough for you, because in terms of the missing functionality in the Gantt chart, we have the scheduler. Maybe you could open the scheduler for a minute, that people see that we don't have to rely only on the project, or the project for the web. It's the old name, right? The Planner Premium. So we have built this Project PowerPack with our own scheduler, which offers the same functionality around the Gantt chart, but the Gantt chart itself is based on an extra component, and this extra component, as you see, offers a colorful Gantt chart with more options. You can see a baseline and all the other things. So this is just for you to know that there are more possibilities here in the cloud. And the last thing that we want to tell you is, regarding the cloud, if you are not allowed to go to the cloud, there is still Microsoft Project Online in place, or Microsoft Project Server. Well, Online is still in the cloud, but the same functionality is still available with the Microsoft Project Server. It's the old thing still alive. It's a desktop application that So this is Microsoft Project Professional, and there is the Project Web App beside. And there is a database there where the data is stored in SQL Server, and we have just the SharePoint server, and therein the project server is working. So if you have projects which are not allowed to be stored outside the company, so you would like to run the local system, so it is still available as Microsoft Project Server always was available the last 20 years, and there is no date announced that it would expire. So you can have the subscription edition of Microsoft Project Server for the next years, and even Project Online is is announced at least for the next 5 years. So you can run your project desktop client against these databases in Project Server and Project Online if you want to have a full-blown scheduling engine, or you want to have a desktop client and you need to send a plan to a customer, or you get plans from other guys. So the MPP files from the past, this is still working. But what Microsoft is not offering is that the Project Professional desktop application is working together with the new Project Premium or the Planner Premium. You can only import a MPP file once. So there is no way in and out like you know it from Project Online or Project Server. This is just not the case in the new world. But yeah, there are many options to decide. And now let's come to the end. I hope you have got an idea about the new planner and the possibilities around it, like in Project PowerPack offered from us, or at least a few sentences and differences to Project Server and Project Online. So yeah, if you're not allowed to go to the cloud, you still can live with the version that's existing. Yeah, that's it for today. It was 45 minutes. No, it was 49 minutes, a little bit overtime, but I hope it was good for you.
Hans, we have one question. When you can hear me?
Yep. Can hear you.
I have to select here my screen so you know that we are now in the question section. There is only one question so far, which is how do you make sure that tasks created in Planner Basic or To-Do lands in the correct plan in Planner Premium?
Good question. In Planner Premium, in general, in the new Planner, you get on the left-hand side a menu that shows just the private tasks and the tasks from the plan where that's currently opened, or your flagged emails, right? So you just need to click on the right place, and there is no way that the To-Do is moved into a plan out of Microsoft To-Do, right? That just doesn't work. It is just the case that this data is synchronized, or let's say it is shown in one user interface where you can select which kind of tasks you would like to see. So the other way around works. So you have a have a task in Planner Premium or Planner Basic, no matter. It will show up in Microsoft To Do, because there is only your To-Do, right? So every task that comes from anywhere is just listed in My Day, in Planned, in Important, or wherever. But the other way around, where you would have to select a project or a plan, these data coming from To-Do is not transported in another plan. It's just shown in the user interface of Planner Premium, of the new Planner at all. So this data of To-Do is not copied into a plan. It's just the other way around. From plans, they are shown in To-Do.
I think that's an important point, because the functionality in these apps is different and the data storage is different. It's just, as Hans said, shown to you in one single user interface, which makes it more convenient to work on these different types of tasks from different applications.
So To-Do is for your private use, more or less, right? So this is the main reason is you get all the things in one place, out of plans, Basic, Premium, and you manually enter things in To-Do by yourself. If you want to work with some colleagues, you choose Planner Basic. Maybe if you want to have some extra functionality, you choose Planner Premium. And if you want to have a real full-blown project management solution, maybe you go for Project Online, Project Server, or TPG ProjectPowerPack, and our scheduler, for example. First think about your requirements, and then maybe ask us to help you find the right way. And I'm sure we will find a way.